all. I hope you're having a great day. I just got back from the gym and I'm feeling good and just wanted to, talk a little bit about workouts because, I've been going to the gym a lot, as you guys know. I went to the gym 25 days last month in September. I went to the gym 24 days the month before that. I think it was 23 days the month before that. I know this because they have a nice little leaderboard at my gym where they put the top 10 and including places that tied. And I was like number 7 last month, even at 25 times a month, because apparently there's some hardcore people. But, anyways, like I'm making the leaderboard, made the leaderboard like 3 months in a row. So that's really cool. For those of you who are not like aware of kind of what I'm doing powerlifting right now. So I'm trying to maximize bench, deadlift, and squat. And with an initial goal of my birthday, I wanted to hit 3 plate, which would be 315 on each of them. And so that was my goal. And I hit 315 squat because you guys saw that. You saw me do the 315 squat. That was cool. The other day, I actually tried to do a 335 deadlift, which was 10 pounds more than I intended to do. Incidentally, I miscalculated the plates, but I tried to do a 335 deadlift, and I got to about 90% of the lockout. I got really, really close. I thought about uploading it, uploading like this near success, but I didn't because it wasn't a success, but it was really, really close. It was like 90%. And I wasn't even wearing a lifting belt at the time. So that was good. And then I had an argument kind of with ChatGPT on trying to figure out what was the most honest way to log that. Like, because, like, well, I don't want to log it as a miss because that doesn't seem quite fair because I have to log it as something so that the AI knows what to do, right? So we wound up logging it as a block lift, which that was ChatGPT's best suggestions. Like, well, log it as a block lift, wherein you like pretend that you lifted it from a raised position, and then log it as an RPE 10 at 335. I don't know if that was the best approach. I don't know if I don't know if there's a better approach. My first thought was initially just trying to like log it less. So I was like, okay, my first thought was, well, I'll log it at like 317 and a half, because I got to 90%. So like, kick 10% off. So it's like 30 pounds. So it's like my initial thought was I'll log it at 317 and log it as an RPE 10. But ChatGPT thought that that was cheating because it's like it didn't actually complete that lift. I'm like, I know I didn't, but I'm trying to convert it to something for the purpose of the app. And I don't know. But, anyways, I got really, really close. So that was good. And I'm still doing good on bench. I did I'm still hitting about a 305 projected 1 rep max on bench press right now. So I still have to pick up about 20 pounds between now and my birthday. So that's about a month and a half. So I should be able to do that. So I should be able to hit um 3 plate for for all my lifts and actually a little bit more. If I'm hitting 315 for my bench, by the time you factor in the squat and deadlift, I should hit more than 1,000 pounds combined, which is good, right? This is really positive. So I'm very happy about this to hit the 1,000 pound club. So 1,000 pound club by my January 13th birthday, looking really, really positive right now. So that's all hype. Today I did today I did belt squat. I did one leg press because I don't like doing lunges. I find them awkward, physically awkward. So I just do a leg press to to kind of do the same movement. I did dumbbell RDLs to work on my lower back because that's definitely the weakest point in my left is my lower back. That was the point that gave out on my deadlift was my lower back. And so keep doing those RDL deadlifts and things like that. And I tried a new exercise today. Um, a It's called either a barbell Russian twist or it's called a landmine twist, I guess. What you do is you get a landmine, which is a just an anchor point for the barbell. You put one in there, and then you can put weight on it, and then you can just like twist it from side to side to get that core work. So I did that today, and that was a lot of fun. So that was a new exercise to work on abs. So it's basically like an ab workout, and you work all those abductors and stuff like that. and all that good stuff. So that was cool. I really enjoyed that. I tried the first set. I didn't know how much weight to put on, so I tried initially with a 45-pound plate, which I was able to do for like 5 reps. But my app wanted me to do like 15 reps or something, so I switched it out for like a 10-pound plate. So it's 45, including the bar, I guess. Sort of. I don't know how else to log it. And did that for more reps, and that was really good. So I'm looking forward to doing more of those landmine twist, barbell Russian twist stuff. Um, yeah. And for me, it's all strength training right now. It's all strength, no cardio, because that's what I'm into. So it's all lifting. And then what I'm gonna do, I think, in January is I'm going to you try croc rows. I don't know what a croc row is, but I do like different kinds of row. I do T-bar rows, I do cable rows, I do plated rows. I don't do a traditional barbell row though, because it just feels like a lot of setup. Um, but I do other kinds of rows. Um, so I do sometimes I do machine rows. So I do other kinds of rows. But yeah, I'm not really worried about the deadlift. That's not really the thing I'm most worried about. The thing I'm most worried about is bench and trying to hit that 315 target is the thing I'm most worried about. I've already basically hit. I've already done the 315 squat. I basically was there already in the deadlift. Given my near success at 335, I mean, I'm pretty much there already on deadlift. And so the only thing that's really lagging is my bench right now. And so that's the only thing that I'm concerned about is picking up. Um, so that's all good. Um, but yeah, that's sort of what's sort of the process that we're heading in. And then when January hits, my intention is maybe after a short bridge block, then I'm going to do this bench only focus through Juggernaut. I'm using Juggernaut AI right now, and it seems pretty good. So I'm going to keep using Juggernaut, and then I'm going to do this bench only program. I think it's like 12-week or 16-week or something like that, where it's just bench, everything's bench, and just do basically bench training. And then I'll like squat once a week and deadlift once a week just to like maintain those muscles. But pretty much just bench focus and a see if I can hit a 405 bench. 405 bench is my ultimate target. And I think I have the frame for it. Um, I think I have the frame for it. It's just a question of how long this is going to take. So if I do my 315 bench in by my birthday, which seems like all but certain that I'm going to hit 315 for my birthday, the question is, how much longer does it take to add another 90 pounds of weight? How much longer is that? And realistically, you're looking at, depends on a lot of variables, but you're looking at something between, I don't know, 9 months on the low end and like 2 years on the big end is sort of a realistic time frame. So we're going to see if the bench only workout can speed that along or otherwise get me into a good position for that. All the rest of it. Updates on Nate. Nate didn't get out of the hospital yesterday. He's getting out of the hospital today. I haven't talked to him. I talked to him the day I went to his hospital like every day. I didn't know. I thought he was going to get discharged Friday, so I didn't go Friday because it didn't seem like there was a point. So, but they decided not to discharge him Friday. They discharged him today, as I understand it. And I haven't talked to him since he posted. He posted something like saying that he thought it has a 60% survival rate within 5 years, which really confused me because based on the information they previously given me, I would have projected that his odds of survival were much better than that. So, the fact that he said on Twitter that it was 60% survival for 5 years, it surprised me deeply because I thought his odds of survival for 5 years, if they never gave me a number, but based on everything they told me, I would have thought that it was basically essentially a certainty that he would survive. And then on Twitter, he's talking about 60% chance of survival, which really confused me. So I'm still looking to talk to him so he can explain to me what that means, because that caught me off guard. Yeah, it is surprising, right? Because it doesn't make intuitive sense to me. They removed 90 to 95% of the mass that was in his skull, and they want to treat the rest with radiation therapy to try to keep it at bay. That's like, well, and then of course other treatments, I assume, in addition to radiation. And it's like, well, either those treatments are going to succeed on their own, which, great, or, it seemed to me like the worst case is the tumor starts to grow back, at which point you just rinse and repeat, right? You just do it again. You just crack open a skull again and remove the bad stuff, right? So it's like, just do like a little maintenance, operation. So I don't know if that's so that was my impression. And now he was saying, well, 60% chance to survive in 5 years. And I'm like, those odds sound really bad compared to what my expectation was. So yeah. Yeah, so I hope he thought he said a 60% chance of it reoccurring. I thought he said a 60% chance of survival. If he said 60% chance of reoccurring, I would freak out a lot less. Is that what he said? Let me go and check it. Did I misread it? Hold on. Nate said, I saw my kids for the first time in days, 12 hours ago. Uh, well, depending on how we're defining days, that's not really true. Did you forget? Which is possible. Um, yeah, Nate may not necessarily be a fully reliable narrator at this point. Uh, so at least about the last week. Yeah, he's not necessarily a reliable narrator because the brain tumor. Yeah, that's what he said. He said on 21st, 60% survival rate for 5 years. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. 60% survival rate. That doesn't track. So check under replies. Did he reply to himself? Yeah, 60. I know what that means. 60% survival rate. I know what that means. It just seems low. It seems a lot lower than I would have expected. It doesn't track with the other info. It doesn't intuitively make sense. So something here doesn't make sense to me. I question the accuracy of that number at this point. To be honest. Maybe he misunderstood something, which is not exactly impossible because, brain tumor. So well, I'll hopefully get some further clarification on what's going on at some point. Yeah. But all things considered, he still got off lucky on balance, as I've tried to remind him constantly. He had the fortune of being able of collapsing in his home where someone was able to find him and take him to a hospital right away, as opposed to like him being away driving his car on a cruise or any other number of scenarios. So, you know, his brain chose to give out at a pretty optimal time. He in the hospital was saying at one point, he was saying, this happened at the worst time. I'm like, pretty sure it happened at the best time, Nate. I mean, it doesn't It happened it got kind of lucky, Nate. I mean, it happened right in your home, and someone was able to get you to treatment right away, and we're right at Houston and level one trauma center, and they were able to get treatment right away as opposed to you falling down and drowning or something. I think you got off light, man. I don't know if he appreciates that or not, but that's what I'm going with. You know? Yeah. So so I think he got off easy. That's what I'm going with. Yeah, only better place would have been in the hospital, yeah. It's interesting too. I need to make a video like telling the whole story at some point. Maybe I'll make a separate video about that now so I don't have to do it twice. But telling the story from my point of view, because at least it parts of this story, I'm more reliable of a narrator than Nate is, which is mildly hilarious. You know? Because Nate wasn't really there for all of it. His body was, but Nate wasn't there. So yeah, at least in parts of this story, I'm more reliable of a narrator than Nate is. So that's exciting. So yeah. Anyways, so the workouts are going well. My friend Nate is recovering nicely, and we're still gonna figure out what the hell this 60% number means because I don't know what that means. It's also very interesting, like how fast it went from basically nothing to so detrimental, right? Because the doctors said that they think that he's had this condition for at least 2 years. And, there were no real symptoms. I mean, nothing that would trigger you to this. I mean, looking back on it, we can see little signs, but even like in retrospect, there's nothing that would, you know, he would have headaches or he'd have like other things, but there was nothing really that would lend you to this. And so, like, what was it? Was it Saturday? Last Saturday, I think it was, that he fell in his office upstairs, and then he went to the hospital, and by Sunday, you know, he had no idea what was happening. He had no mental awareness. So it was really really weird. It was in yeah. So yeah. I mean, Friday he was fine. Saturday he falls in his office. And by Sunday, he is, yeah, gone. It's like it was weird, man. I was there when it happened for the first time too. I didn't know what was happening the first time. Scared the hell out of me because I didn't recognize what was going on. It was strange. It was really, really strange. Scary. Scary for me. Fortunately, I got to see it several more times. So it wasn't as scary the remaining times because I'd seen it once. But that first time, having never seen it, I was like, what, it was scary. But by the encore performances, it's like, okay, I've seen this play. I know how this goes. So yeah. Yeah. It's kind of funny in a dark comedy kind of way. It also makes you wonder what's lurking in your body you don't know about, right? It's like what's going on inside my body that I don't even know. Could be a long list. It was really scary. Like the first time it happened, it was weird as shit. I'll tell the story at some point. I might do a stream later tonight and tell the story because, yeah. But he should be fine now because they removed all the mass in his brain. So, or 90% of it. So he should be fine now. Hopefully. All right. Well, we'll talk more about gym and stuff later. But yeah. Nate's short-term recovery is very good. Nate should be good in the short term. So in the short term, he should be completely back to normal and his same old self, and there should be no problems. The medium to long term is more of a question mark. They haven't even done pathology yet, or haven't done back pathology. And the doctors are apparently having a powwow on Tuesday. Apparently, like the neurology team gets together like once a week or something and has a powwow about their cases. So apparently the powwow's on Tuesday, by which time they should have pathology back. So yeah, I don't even think his doctors know the answers to these questions at this point. I think they obviously have a reasonable idea. It's not like they're stupid, but I don't think they even know like the medium to long term prognosis is completely at this point. Not for at least the reasons they don't have pathology back, so they're somewhat still guessing. So hopefully by Tuesday they'll have a more complete understanding of what's going on. We'll see. All right, I'm gonna sign off for now, man. Check in with you later, peeps.